Hi, this is Victoria Strombom with Certere Properties, and I'd like to welcome a guest today, Loreen Gilbert. She's the president of WealthWise Financial and a dear friend. I've asked her to weigh in on some of the changes that we're seeing in her industry now that we are coming through this phase of COVID and entering new changes in our economy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I just wanted to get your opinion because we all are in our industries as experts, and I have to ask you, what do you see taking place? It's now been, gosh, almost 5 months, 6 months since we've experienced this change, and we've seen so many changes in business and stock market.
We never thought it would last this long,
right?
And here we are in another semi-lockdown again, right here in the state of California, and of course that makes it tough on business owners and on businesses to recover. But thankfully in the United States, we're resilient.
Yes.
And we know how to kind of pick ourselves up and get going again. And so what I would say that I'm seeing, because we work with business owners and key executives, is we're seeing businesses that are determined to get back to where they were before.
Excellent.
And at a public company level, we're now seeing the results of Q2. So we're in earnings season right now.
Right.
We just started earnings season, and we saw with the banks, the big banks that just started to report, we actually had good numbers. So that is incredibly encouraging that we had some surprises to the upside in the banking industry. And we had been actually saying that, get ready, this was the time to be looking at some of those big banks because we saw the opportunity. So thankfully we took advantage of that. And now what I would say to investors as they're looking for opportunities, look beyond the tech sector, because this run up so far in the equity markets has been very tech focused, very growth focused.
Right.
And now I would say as we look at going into a true recovery,
right,
that is when you want to look at smaller companies, because coming out of a recession, small companies get hit worse.
Right.
And they have been through this one.
And that's what I'm thinking. If they're getting hit worse, what is it, a risk looking at them, or where would we look to?
Well, it is always a risk, because what the risk is how many companies are going to go bankrupt. Right. So looking very carefully at the balance sheet and understanding their debt structure, because the companies that have gone bankrupt so far were the companies that were over levered in debt.
Correct.
And we're not done with that. We expect to see many more bankruptcies, both on the public company side as well as private companies. So definitely debt structure is an important part to look at.
Right. So people will ask me what's happening in real estate. Are you seeing people who are having problems? And we really haven't. If anything, our market is jettisoning. We're seeing a real demand for entry-level housing and housing above $4 million.
Right.
But we are starting to see, and I'm hearing from clients say as it goes into lockdown again, I don't know that I can take too much more of this. Are you seeing people step out?
Yes, what I would say in real estate is the residential side has held up all right.
Beautifully.
The corporate commercial side of real estate
is taking a beating.
Has taken a beating.
Yes.
And unfortunately, don't forget, we have a proposition coming up here in California that could really devastate the commercial real estate market. And that is the Proposition 15 that would change Prop 13.
Right.
So people need to look very carefully at that, because I'm not a fan of it, and I think it could destroy commercial real estate in a lot of ways, because ultimately, if you have the holders of those properties that have to increase their tax burden, they're
already struggling.
They're already struggling. This is not the time, and what I'm saying is, it's not the time to raise taxes in any way.
Correct.
It's not the time to raise your property taxes. It's not the time to raise income taxes. Our economy is still trying to recover out of a global pandemic.
That's right.
So we need time in order to recover and become strong again.
So what do you say then to those small businesses that are trying to recover? Are you seeing more people trying to retire out now? Do you see people just, as the PPP loans?
Thankfully, the PPP has been amazing for small business owners. I have a small business owner as a client who was in the entertainment industry, which was just everything
hit hard.
It stopped.
Yes.
And so, in that way, that saved his business in a sense to be able to get the PPP loan.
Right.
And I've seen many of those, and he'll come back and do very well. But I would say that many business owners are considering now, wait a minute, let me take a step back. Is it time for me to look at my exit strategy and what is that exit strategy. And of course, we help business owners through that. And I would say that people are kind of re-looking at their lives again.
Isn't that true?
Right.
Yeah, what's important? Should I retire now? Do I really want to be here? Do I need more
Speaking
house?
of,
Yes.
I have a client leaving the state of California to move to Nevada.
Yes.
I have a client moving out of state, moving to Arizona. I have another client moving out of California, moving to Oregon.
And why are they moving out of California?
At the time when people are thinking about retiring
Yes.
and really thinking through what does retirement look like. If you leave the state of California,
It's more fun.
many times your dollars can go much further.
That's right.
And the risk of staying here in retirement is just having to pay so much more state income tax. So
That's right.
people are going to, in a sense, safe havens where they can pay less or no state income tax.
So our businesses are parallel in so many ways because your clients are re-examining where their needs really are. They're examining not only their goals and their needs, but their stamina of continuing to plow through the ups and downs we're facing. So I feel so fortunate. I mean, I can't tell you enough for those of you viewing, and I'm glad you are, that Loreen Gilbert with WealthWise Financial, her bevy of services is fantastic, and I will put her contact at the bottom because you would be in great hands, as I have been over the years. Thank you, Loreen,
Thank you.
to have the guidance and insight that she has, and thank you for your time today. I really appreciate
Thank you
it.
for having me.
Thank you.